The Balkans, a historical epic land at the crossroads of worlds. The Balkans. A land of mountains that cut the sky, rivers that carve deep valleys, and seas that have carried merchants, armies, and dreamers for millennia. A place where Europe meets Asia, and where empires rose and fell like waves on the Adriatic shore. To tell the story of the Balkans is to tell the story of struggle and survival, of kingdoms forged in fire, of empires colliding, of faiths mingling and clashing, and of people who endured centuries of change yet never lost their spirit. For thousands of years, the Balkans have been a crossroads of history, a place where cultures meet, and where history is never quiet. The ancient roots long before modern nations, the Balkans were home to mysterious peoples, the Illyrians, who roamed the rugged western mountains, the Thracians, who lived in the fertile valleys and plains, and the Dacians, whose fortresses crowned the Carpathians. They left behind tombs, weapons, and legends, but their names survive mainly in whispers of history. By the 8th century BCE, another great people arrived, the Greeks. Along the coastlines of the Aegean and the Adriatic, they built colonies, trading outposts that grew into vibrant cities. From Athens to Corinth, Greek merchants sailed across the seas, bringing with them philosophy, art, and democracy. In time, Greek culture would spread inland, shaping the spiritual soul of the Balkans. Then came the greatest empire the ancient world had seen, Rome. By the 1st century CE, the Roman legions marched across the Balkans, building roads that still survive today, binding the land into the Roman world. Cities like Salona, near today's Split in Croatia, and Nasis, modern is in Serbia, flourished. The Balkans gave Rome soldiers, emperors, and saints. Constantine the Great, the first Christian emperor of Rome, was born here. When the Western Roman Empire crumbled, the Balkans did not fade into silence. It became the frontier of the Eastern Roman, or Byzantine Empire. The Middle Ages and the Slavic migrations in the 6th and 7th centuries, great waves of Slavic tribes swept southward, settling in the Balkans. They mixed with the local populations and slowly formed new peoples: Serbs, Croats, Slovenes, Bulgarians, and others. Each carved their place in the rugged landscape, building villages and later kingdoms. The Byzantines struggled to hold influence, but out of the forests and valleys rose powerful new states. In the 9th century, the First Bulgarian Empire emerged, rivaling Byzantium itself. Under Tsar Simeon the Great, Bulgaria stretched from the Black Sea to the Adriatic, and its capital Preslav became a center of culture. It was in Bulgaria that the Cyrillic alphabet was born, created by Saints Cyril and Methodius and their disciples, a gift that would shape the written word for Slavic peoples for centuries. Meanwhile, the Serbs and Croats established their own medieval states. In time, the Serbian kingdom grew under leaders like Stefan Duzin, who dreamed of uniting the Balkans under his crown. His empire in the 14th century stretched across much of the peninsula, rivaling Byzantium at its height. But as these kingdoms rose, so too did the shadow from the east: the Ottoman Turks, the Crescent, and the Cross. The 14th and 15th centuries brought a storm. The Ottoman Empire, expanding from Anatolia, crossed into Europe. The Balkans, fractured by rivalries, faced an enemy unlike any before. At Kosovo in 1389, Serbian knights clashed with Ottoman armies in a battle that became legend. Though the Ottomans emerged victorious, the memory of the warriors who fought there lived on in epic poetry, becoming a symbol of sacrifice for centuries. One by one, Balkan kingdoms fell. Bulgaria, Serbia, Bosnia, Albania, Greece, all were drawn into the vast Ottoman Empire. Constantinople itself fell in 1453, marking the end of Byzantium and the dawn of Ottoman supremacy. For nearly 500 years, the Balkans lived under Ottoman rule. Cities grew with mosques, bazaars, and baths. Christian churches continued, but often under restrictions. Some Balkan children were taken through the Devshirme system, raised as soldiers in the elite Janissary corps, yet resistance never died. In the mountains of Montenegro, in the forests of Serbia, in the rugged hills of Albania, rebels kept fighting. The Ottomans brought administration, trade, and architecture, but also heavy taxation and cultural domination. The Balkans became both a frontier and a heartland of the empire, a place of coexistence and tension between Christianity and Islam. East and West, the age of revolutions. By the late 18th and early 19th centuries, a new fire spread through Europe, the spirit of nationalism. The French Revolution and the decline of Ottoman power inspired the peoples of the Balkans to rise. The first great spark came from Serbia. In 1804, under leaders like Karađorđe, the Serbs launched uprisings against Ottoman rule. Though crushed at first, their struggle continued, and Serbia eventually gained autonomy. In 1821, the Greeks rose up. The Greek War of Independence became legendary, supported by poets and intellectuals across Europe. After years of brutal struggle, Greece emerged free in 1830. Their victory inspired others. Throughout the 19th century, the Balkans became a battlefield of liberation. Bulgarians launched uprisings, Albanians asserted their identity, Romanians sought unity, and Montenegrins defended their independence. The Ottoman Empire, once mighty, was now called the sick man of Europe, and the Balkans became the prize in a dangerous game of empires: Russia, Austria-Hungary, and others, all seeking influence. The spark of world war by the early 20th century, the Balkans were restless. New states emerged: Serbia, Montenegro, Bulgaria, Greece, and Romania expanded, often clashing with each other. The Balkan Wars of 1912 to 1913 saw allies turn rivals, carving up the last Ottoman lands in Europe. But it was in Sarajevo, 1914, that the Balkans changed the world forever. A young Bosnian Serb, Gavrilo Princip, assassinated Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria. In the streets of a small Balkan city, the spark was lit that would ignite World War I. The Great War devastated the region. Serbia lost nearly a quarter of its population. Empires collapsed: Austro-Hungary, the Ottomans. Out of the ashes, a new state was born: the Kingdom of Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes, later called Yugoslavia. Between two wars, the interwar period was a time of hope, but also tension. The new Yugoslavia struggled with ethnic divisions. Bulgaria nursed wounds from lost lands. Greece and Turkey exchanged populations in the wake of the Greco-Turkish War. Albania fought to keep its independence. In 1941, the storm of World War II engulfed the Balkans. Nazi Germany invaded Yugoslavia and Greece. Resistance movements rose in the mountains: the partisans under Josip Broz Tito in Yugoslavia, guerrilla fighters in Greece, and countless others. The Balkans bled, but also became one of the fiercest theaters of resistance in Europe. The Cold War and Tito's Yugoslavia. After the war, the Balkans were divided between East and West. Greece fought a civil war, but remained in the Western Bloc. Romania and Bulgaria became Soviet satellites. Albania turned into a Stalinist fortress. And Yugoslavia, under Tito, it forged its own path. Though communist, Tito defied Stalin, creating a unique system and leading the non-aligned movement. For decades, Yugoslavia stood as a bridge between East and West, a federation of 6 republics and 2 provinces, diverse yet united under Tito's rule. The tragedy of the 1990s, but unity was fragile. After Tito's death in 1980, old tensions resurfaced. Nationalism returned with force. In the 1990s, Yugoslavia collapsed in a series of brutal wars. Slovenia broke away quickly, but Croatia and Bosnia descended into bloody conflict. Sarajevo, once a symbol of diversity, endured the longest siege in modern history. Ethnic cleansing scarred the land. By the late 1990s, Kosovo erupted, leading to NATO intervention and the eventual independence of Kosovo. The dream of a united Yugoslavia was gone, replaced by new states: Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, North Macedonia, Kosovo, alongside Serbia. The modern Balkans today. The Balkans are a mosaic of nations, each proud, each scarred by history, each looking to the future. Some are members of the European Union, others aspire to join. Old wounds still linger, but new generations look forward, seeking peace and prosperity. The Balkans remain what they have always been: a crossroads of cultures, religions, and identities. From Orthodox monasteries to Ottoman mosques, from Roman ruins to Austro-Hungarian palaces, the land tells the story of centuries. The spirit of the Balkans is not just a region, it is a story of survival. A place where mountains held warriors, where rivers carried trade and ideas, where empires clashed and people endured. Its history is complex, tragic, and beautiful. It is a reminder that even in struggle, there is resilience. Even in division, there is a shared past, and even in pain, there is hope. The Balkans, the land where history never sleeps.